referees, I said, fellas, I told the referees about our legacy of toughness. I said, Mr. Ref, I've never had to call timeout to drag one of my kids off the field. I said, Mr. Ref, I wear my nice, clean clothes to the game on Friday night, and if one of my kids get hurt, ain't no way I'm gonna go out there and get all that blood and sweat and dirt all over my nice, clean clothes. I want you to know if one of my kids get hurt, Mr. Ref, you're gonna have to move the ball on the other side of the field and play a little bit until he work himself off. Folks, I told my kids that every game. And I think just from being here with me, you know that very few coaches probably were closer to his kids than me. And if one of my kids got hurt, I'd have been the first one out there on the field. But see, my kids didn't know that, so they didn't get hurt. I've got 2 vice presidents in our company in Dallas, Texas right now. Last year, one was paid $50,000 and one was paid $500,000. You look at the outside and study those 2 individuals, everything seems to be the same. They both are the same sex, they both are the same age, they've been at A.O. Williams the same period of time, had the same training, the same positions, the same contract, the same fringe benefits. They both are successful, they work hard, they're good family people, make tough commitments. But what's the difference? What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. He pays the price and a little bit more. He works hard and a little bit more. He's loyal to the company and a little bit more. He believes in a little bit more. He makes money and a little bit more. He saves money and a little bit more. If you want to win in these United States, you got to be tough and you can't quit.
You want to learn to win in this business, you better learn to do everything you're supposed to and a little bit more. I'm 62 years old. 7 years ago, I had open heart surgery. And folks, I believe since I left you 20 years ago, I exercise 5 or 6 times every week. And I don't believe there's been 5 times in the last 21 years that I've ever stopped at the finish line. This concept was so programmed in me that you always do a little bit more, that if I'm jogging 2 miles, then I don't ever stop at the finish line. I always go to that next telephone pole. I always go to that next tree.
From Sugar Hill, Georgia, because the band is getting back together. It's Get Big or Go Home, live at the Bowl with SNSD Andy Young and your favorite $1 million earners. And now, here's your hosts and brawlers in the Bowl, Darla Gore and Rob, the Red Baron McKeever.
Come on, guys, let's get it! We're back! We're back!
glad that we're all back together. Woo!
Oh, hold on. I just want to make sure I don't need my sound effect machine. SNSD Factory!
Oh!
All right, we're good.
Right. You need to record that for future use. All right, you guys.
I'm going to put that new one on the little push button.
Good. Yay. Welcome to the bowl at Sugar Hill. Yay! Isn't this a fantastic venue? This is actually, Matt and I, this is our hometown. Matt and I we live in this town.
Yep.
It's a tiny little town of 22,000. It is in the top 100 places to live in the U.S. I didn't know that till earlier today, but it worked out good for us.
I got the email of interesting facts right here.
We did. We asked them to send, so we would have, you know.
This stage has been graced by Kool and the Gang. And I know the Commodores played here. They didn't put that on here, but we're going to have our own brick house come through here anyway.
Who else? Couple
Joan Jett, Trace Adkins,
Yeah.
Collective Soul, Blues Traveler, Third Eye Blind, Michael Bolton. That's Andy's favorite.
There we go. All right, we're glad that you're here. Thank you. Welcome to the virtual audience. We're glad you're with us as well. I bet y'all wish you were here.
Yeah.
Because it is awesome. All right, so let's see how we can communicate with the virtual people.
All right, so we've got the social feed going like we always do. So how do you appear on the social wall, right? This you can see it right now. We're going to use our hashtag like we always do. So especially the people out in the audience, you know, make everybody jealous, please. Would you? So make sure you use our hashtag on Twitter and Instagram. It's hashtag SNSD Factory.
Oh!
And if you use Facebook, it's a little different. You got to mention us. It's at Let's Get Big or Go Home. So that's how we do it. And it's got to be public, right? So, you make sure you got the little drop-down menu. You're not posting privately. And, YouTube comments, emails, texts to Darla, they don't automatically show up there.
We love text, right? What can I say? All right, you guys, you know how to do that. The next thing that we always do at our big events, it's more than an hour long, is we give you the opportunity for a team roundup, right? For those of you who are in the house and those of you at home, this is a 5-minute break. We can go ahead and go to that graphic. Gives you a chance to communicate with your team. There'll be one of those tonight. They go towards gathering your people up for the rally, right? Which I think you want to tell us about.
Yeah, so the rally is starting now. So RVPs only, that includes people in the room and people at home or at the office. Text 404-465-1830. Save that in your phone. Save it in your phone if you're in a base shop. Send it to your people. Have them save it in their phone. But right now, we only want to hear from the RVPs. We want to know who you are. So tell us RVP and your last name, and then tell us the number of people you got watching. And we're going to see who's got the most people here.
We are. We're going to carry
the person that owns the room owns their life. So that's what we got a little example there. RVP Young, 999. So Andy's got, we don't have 1,000 people here because,
no, social
because of COVID, but,
Right. So,
What?
well, it's gone. Can I just say, it has been for months, like the 5 of us in the studio talking to you all, right? I think I'm a little nervous. If I can be totally transparent, right? So, all right, you guys. We are going to have the $1 Million Earner panel at the end.
Oh, man, that's going to be awesome.
That is going to be awesome. They're all going to be back together. We're going to go ahead and open the to live questions. Well, not live questions, but questions. Now, if you can start now, email tickets@nightglass.com. We've got a graphic for the email address. If you'll email them to me now, we will feed them to the $1 Million Earners, and they'll answer the ones that they picked to answer, to be honest.
So,
all right, so get about those.
Tickets@nightglass.com. That's the thing. Can we switch to that graphic?
All right.
Or I'll just say it 3 more times.
Go ahead.
Tickets@nightglass.com. Tickets@nightglass.com.
TICKETS.
Send in your questions right now because you want to make sure it gets in the $1 Million Earner panel later in the session.
Okay, for the virtual audience, if you guys can hang tight for 10 seconds while I talk to the people in the room. We are going to do recognition a little bit different this time because we don't want a lot of people out moving around in the whole social thing, right? So stay in your seats. When we get out to the bigger recognition, just raise your hand. I have plenty of volunteers who have the cards, and they will give them to you. For VIPs, when your name gets called, you have an assigned seat, and your credentials are in your seat already. Make sure that you're wearing your wristbands and your credentials at all times so we can make sure everybody in the room has registered for the room. I think those are all the details. I think we could go ahead and call for the first set of recognition, right? So if we can look at our first recognition graphic, if this is your first event, your first sale, or you've gotten your first recruit in the months of July and August, of which there should be
I'm
a
glad
whole
you
bunch.
remembered which one it
I
was.
did. I remembered which one. Couldn't remember the other thing, but I got that one. Put that in the subject line: first event, first sale, first recruit. Email your request to tickets@nightglass.com. If you're in the house, raise your hand, and the volunteer will come by and ask you which card you have. Put them on your lanyards, and then we all trade them. No, I'm just kidding.
And once you got them, post them to social media, right?
Put them up there so everybody
Whether
can
you're
see.
at home or you're here.
So right now, we're calling for everybody who's first recruit, first sale, first event in the months of July and August.
Yep.
Right? So we're good to go. I think you.
And we're doing it right, like we want them to raise their hands right now?
Yeah,
here?
start.
Okay, yeah, so if you're in the house,
Raise
you got your
them.
first event, first recruit,
Right.
first
We
sale,
will be
in July and
offering-
August, get your hands up. We'll make sure that you get your cards. And we'll come back if they don't
Yes.
get you in the first segment. We'll be doing
Yep.
this more and more and more, so you'll get your shot. And
We'll be doing it all day tomorrow.
yeah, all day tomorrow as well. Right now, it's probably a little hard to see
A
everybody.
little bit, but now there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there is.
That's awesome. All right.
All right, so are we ready to
We're ready to move.
pass the baton?
Go
All right.
on.
So your next speakers, guys, we've got a girl from Haiti and a boy from Atlanta. They're all grown up now. They just got their third diamond. They got ownership in the business. They always make it hard because I got to put all the number of six-figure earners, the 250 and up, the 500 and up, the million and up, the people over 100,000. I got to keep track of all that so we can put it on the slide for the PowerPoint when we do the op meeting. And the people like this just make it tough because you always got to go back there and change it, and update it, and update it, and update it. So guys, put your hands together. You were already excited before for Peggy and Jaron King.
The VIPs. So I'm going to read off some names. I'm going to read off the qualification requirements, read off the names, and when we're done with each category, then you can clap for them. But we're going to start off with the Platinum VIPs. These are teams who recruited 100+ recruits over July and August. So y'all give it up for the awesome Nicole Linzel Williams, Derek and Crystal O'Neill, Olivier and Amina Brutus, Resi Lori Velti, Shay Bond, Anthony Hines, Andres Alvaro Arellano, April and Rufus Taylor, Glenn Walden and Sandy Wiggins, Grant Brewer and Jordan Anway, Liddell and Elena Walden, Wesley and Shay Florinord, Walter, Recruiter Charles, Sean Walden, and Monet and Keyshawn Howard, y'all. Platinum VIPs, give it up to them.
All right. Very important Primericans. Keep going. You all give it up for Chris and Tasha Gray. And these are Gold VIPs who did 75 recruits over July and August, 75 through 99. Chris and Tasha Gray, give it up. Give it up. That's too quiet. Yeah, Harry and Adeline Thomas. The awesome Mary Hayes. Dee and Key Anthony. Mika Milton Peel, Rodney and Natasha Reed, the awesome Andrea Burks, give it up. Shaquille Stokes, the awesome Belda Rubio, give it up, make some noise. Chris and Sarah Dennis, Jasmine McHenry, Selvin Iglesias, the awesome Andy Young. Give it up, John and Patty Lavin, the awesome Peggy Hightower and Tracy Gist. Gus and Johanna Gonzalez, Steve and Patricia Batterson, Mark and Kelly Blass, and the awesome Rob and Amy McKeever.
So VIPs, once your name gets called, come down to the front. They're reserved seating. You'll find your name on it, and there's probably your VIP badge down there as well. So make sure once your name is called, you come down to claim your place, okay? So silver VIPs, these are teams who recruited 50 to 74 recruits over July and August. Y'all give it up for Mayensi Villalobos, James and Silvina Bello, Tyler and Samantha Zimmerly, Terry Robertson, Lemuel Jr. and Tammy Mercado, Bernadette Palma, Joe Jordan, Shalorio and Benjamin Banks, Dante and Janine Thomas, Stephen and Johan William, the awesome Sean and Marquita Hightower, Jimmy and Carolina Pajon, Hamad and Marine Rizvi, Jan and Julie Belfort, Ezel and Angela Parker, Easy, Ivani Jean, Doug Medina, DeWitt Sala, Darren and Myra Charles, Kimberly and Franzel Whipple, Harriet Sarbly, Mirline and Maxime Pascal Gabriel, Joe and Nadia Charles, and the awesome Laura Langston.
All right. We're going to keep it going with bronze VIP, who did 50 through 74 recruits over July and August. Give it up for William and Jerry Austin, Alexandra Charles, Terry and Tim Sheridan, Shay and Gasha Christopher, Chris and Vanessa Peruccio, Daryl and Crystal Julian, Jolene Janky and George Tracasas, David and Garcia Catan, Nakia Neal, Elizabeth and Nicholas Amarayo, Lynn and Wallace Jenkins, Savitri Crenshaw, Sylvia and Lou Robinson, Shonda Barnes, Rick and Chris Walker, Gashmi Marie Luzon, Chris and Jody Kowalski, Ralph Allen and Minnie Dagobert, Shervan Obutala Samaliata, Apris Walker, Joanne Eva Antinayo, Jackie Ashford Ball, Delina Devo Teal, Mark and Latasha Allen, and give it up for the awesome Marvella Morris.
Still with the bronze VIPs, we have Rashida Bakar and Tim Lee Ansar, Dina Moleka, Thomas Alexander, Angel Lee, Gigi McGinnis, Tanise and Ronald Muhammad, Rocky and Jeff Maynor, Yahan Lee, Nayeli Fuentes Garcia, Tamara Washington and Sarah, awesome Sean T. Walker, James and Marsha Sherrod, Branton Brandy Zimmerly, Bailey Zimmerly, Tatiana Proctor, Nakia Bynum and Tahe Monbo, the awesome Rodney and Nadine Rivers, Keisha and Herb Wilkins, Moose and Jill Krause, Virgo and Pharrell Joseph, Kenesha and BK Matthews, Latoya and Brandon Pryor, Bridget Jackson, Jeanette Holman, and Tammy and Ron Lewis.
Oh, Tammy Ron. All right, continuing with bronze VIP. 50 through 74 recruits over July and August. Give it up for Manoy Kamala Shepakane, Kawani Merritt, Stacy and Mark Stisma, Jamanda Bayam, Vanessa and Peterson Alcide. The awesome, give it up for Rosalind Patterson, Ivy and Velfor Floridis, Medshi Shersma, Dennis and Adama Garland. Give it up for Lyric Williams and Dee Williams, Aaron and Lakeisha Thomas. Give it up for them. Greg and Anna Paris, Roche Howard. Give it up for Roche Howard, Layla and the awesome Pat O'Brien. Give it up for Sheila Highsmith. All right, give it up for the awesome J10 and Mike Martin. Edwin Robinson, give it up for Edwin Robinson. And also give it up for the awesome Jamal and Candace Richmond. Root. All right, Nico and Arlano, Aurelano, give it up for Doris and Noel Rodriguez. Also Ricardo, Theogene and Akil, Tasha, Shamba, Lisa, and Chris Bell. And also give it up for the awesome Evelyn Tejada.
All right, bronze VIPs continue. This is Princess and Sheila Hathaway, Herod Forismar, Deontay Miller, Jamel and Journey Nix, Khalif Lovett, Jennifer Karn, Bisoon Govra, Candace and Terry Edwards, Alice and Wayne Howard, Vladimir and Martha Roth, James DeSous, David Bernadette, Casnora Leon, Tonisha Glenn Jones, Alicia and Amaya Jax, Johan and Maria Clavijo, Maria Nurse and Tanya Nurse, Evans and Miles Wells, Rob and Ada Recker, Giovanni Jean, Taisha Williamson, Corlicia Clark, Artemis and Arthur Jackson, Pratibha Gupta, Zach and Fran Lavin, Sebastian Alvarez, and Kona Kai, y'all. Give it up for all the bronze VIPs, all the VIPs. And right now, we are going to watch an amazing video. It's amazing because of who the subject is, y'all. The risk taker video of Mr. Andrew Young. Give it up.
You know, Andy Young was the kind of person that wasn't supposed to make it at AOE, as we believed in recruiting 4 and 5 pointers, you know, people that were married, had kids, owned a home, had a job, making a decent income. And here was a kid right out of college, was a football player. In addition to being a football player, he was an offensive lineman. And all of us coaches call those people the hogs, you know. And so you had a young hog that wanted to go in business at AOE. And so what Andy possessed is what all the great ones possessed. He had the eye of the tiger. Andy Young wanted to be somebody so bad, it was absolutely unbelievable. And you know, we had that first wave of people that came into A.L. Williams, and all of us were coaches or people that played on a team. And then we had this second wave of people, and Andy was part of this second wave of people, and tons of those people became giants in A.L. Williams. But I think as I look back on the history of A.L. Williams, Andy Young was the best of that second wave of people.
I chose to win. That's why I have to be at every meet. Larry Waddell calls, I'm there. I don't care what else is going on. Bob Turley calls, I'm in. I chose to win. I don't have any decisions to make about that. You got to get to a point where you don't make any more decisions about that.
So really got things moving in North Carolina, and you know, once we got to a point where we were about to go to RVP, moved my family to Maryland, moved in with my mom and dad, you know, hauled a U-Haul with everything we had, and got up there, stayed with my mom and dad for 6 months, had a 15-year-old car. I think the company might have been in 13 states, and we were expanding, and so when it finally opened up a year into the business, we were out there fighting every day to see what we could do, you know.
We start off with this little diagram. We got DC here. We got Northern Virginia. We got Maryland. We're selling a dream now. I'm sleeping on the floor, and I said, this DC area, there's a beltway around it, got the Potomac River coming down. We're going to start right here, and we're going to put offices all around, and we're going to dominate this map. And we get done with this, we're going to head up the East Coast and go take the entire Northeast. But we're going to do, I was broke. I was sitting there with nothing, drawing that map on the board, telling 4 or 5 our you know, brand new recruits, big eyes, and all they knew is I had a vision. I saw something big that I was a part of. They saw something big that they could be a part of.
So starting out, we were in a new area, you know, Maryland, and there wasn't really a whole lot going on there. We were trying to get some events going, some kind of, you know, environment. And Atlanta, of course, was 12 hours away driving, and Larry Waddell was 6 hours away. So we plugged into his stuff every other month, and then we started going to Atlanta. And we started that in a car, you know, it was 4 of us in a car, and then that turned into a van, and then a second van, and a bus, and so we really got things moving. We got 17 buses on one trip.
But it starts small. It starts with 4 people going to Atlanta. It starts with you taking a stand. And that's the way you're going to do something big in this business, and it's going to start with you in that chair.
Well, early in the business, Art, he made no bones about it. I mean, first meeting I went to, Art said, you know, if we're good enough to make it. He said that at every meeting, you know, but from day one, that's what I heard. And I remember sitting, you know, after I built 80 RVPs, I'm sitting in the insurance commissioner's office in the state of Maryland, 29 years old, and, you know, they're trying to cease and desist and all this stuff. And 2 days later, I mean, nothing happened because nothing was going to happen, because everything we did was right. And people ask me today, they say, well, how'd you feel about, being under the gun like that and everything you'd built? You got 80 RVPs and you've put everything on the line and the state's kind of coming after you. There's not 1 second I thought we were wrong. I knew we were right the whole time. So, it didn't really matter what they threw at us. When you're right, you're right. And we went out there, we prevailed, man. We got the job done, and look at us now.
How many people know you're in A.L. Williams? Every 7-Eleven, gas station, Stop and Rob, every little store in between my house and the office and back, everybody knows I'm in A.L. Williams. I always have my A.L. Williams jackets on and buttons. I'm always talking a little bit about it. I don't ram it down their throat. I don't take a caveman approach, but they all know that I'm in the business. I'm stupid enough to think that long range, I'm going to recruit everybody. I don't know if it's possible or not, but a lot of people, when they walk in, they think, well, that's A.L. Williams right there. There he is right there.
Yeah, being a college football player, originally I thought I was going to go to the NFL and have that big career, and that never really took off. And I think the biggest contract when I came out of school was $1 million over 2 years. And I came in here and, was able to build that to over $20 million in pay. I mean, that's an amazing business that we started from scratch, pulling a U-Haul just with dreams and hopes, trying to get something going, It's just an amazing business. Great people to be around.
Andy's record was absolutely unbelievable. In 35 years, Andy produced 198 RVPs, 34 SVPs, 21 NSDs, 7 SNSD. He had 4 people making over $1 million a year, 106 over $100,000 a year. Andy had a payroll of $2.7 million a month, $32 million a year. $320 million payroll over 10 years. In the next 31 years, Andy's business is going to be worth over $1 billion.
Go! Okay, they say go. It's go time. Thank you. All right, that's great. Hey, now remember, this is live TV, so as they said to us in the locker room back when I played football, please be careful. There's a lot of people, there's actually thousands watching tonight and tomorrow, so don't be touching yourself in any sensitive places. Make sure that you have proper comportment about everything you're doing. Anyway, I want to give out an award. I have snack and bacon for Darla, and Rob, and Amy. They've got the top award for tonight, and Dunkin' Donuts makes this with crack, so it's perfect. Got pepper and a sweet sugar and all that kind of stuff. They are so bad. You can eat it while I'm talking. Just go ahead and make me feel better if you ate it right now. Okay. That's right. Rob's over there sniffing it. Anyway, like he would. But anyway, we got a couple minutes to kick off tonight, and just amazing. Last night I did almost a 2-hour Zoom with Francis Averett's team, and it was supposed to be 45 minutes. It kept going on and on and on. I said, okay, thanks for having me on. And Francis said, wait, time out. We got a bunch of questions. I go, oh, okay, awesome. And Francis kept calling our movement. She said, this is his movement, is get moving or get gone. A little country girl from Sandersville, get moving or get gone. I don't think that's what we're calling. We don't want people to get gone. We want people to take whatever they got to do to go make it happen in the business. But anyway, when the whole pandemic started, it was funny because we sat around this table, and Darla, I think, already alluded to it, or Rob, that 5 of us sitting around, and we would every week try and figure out, what we're going to do. And we said TV would be great. We started putting things together, and the main goal that I had through the whole process was to get back to here. This is the beginning. This is totally the beginning. You're here at the beginning because Colorado, I believe, will have more people in Keystone, Colorado this year than we had last year. We've got over 800 registrations already. If you're not in Keystone, I was looking up today, airfare is still $98 round trip. I mean, it's just amazing. When you look at going out there, the cost is lower. That's because of where we're going, but also with COVID, there's a lot of things open. I'm getting messages from VRBO and emails and stuff like that. Check that out. Get yourself in position. That'll be the second big event. We're going to have to split it up a little bit. We're going to have to do some things different. I think it's no more, Darla and I were talking this morning, 150 or 180 in a room or whatever. We'll just do more meetings, and everybody will get the same effect from Colorado. But ultimately, this is what's going to happen. This is what our business is about. Big events Big decisions are made at big events. You got to think about that. You got to decide. Like I said in there, I chose to win. That was a decision I made. And when you go through decisions, I mean, it's got like, fratricide, killing your father, genocide, like Hitler tried that crap, suicide, you kill yourself. Decide also ends with CIDE, and something inside of you has got to change. You got to make a decision that you're going to go out there, decide to go a different direction. And what I challenge you to do is, as we're coming out of this thing down the road, and I don't know how long it'll take, but it's going to happen. And if you think about it, don't I've had so many people talk about, well, I got, when the $49 IBA was out, I was like, a $49 IBA, I got 17 states going in. No, you don't. You got the business ultimately down the road, still going to be relationships, kneecap to kneecap, and people are craving that, and you know that all around the country because you see it everywhere as the states are moving out. And I've traveled probably as much or more than anybody in the is this a room? I'm going to call it the room. I'm going to call it the room. In the room tonight, and isn't it beautiful weather? Isn't this a beautiful night? Good God, man. Well, you got to make the decision. You got to choose to go out there to get the job done. And so there's never been a better time in the business, but if you're going to do it, you got to go do it full speed. Like Art talked about, getting up and swimming. I mean, he don't want to get up swimming. He'd rather lay there in the bed, hug on Angela, whatever, and she's going to slap the hell out of him probably. But I mean, he's like, that's probably why he goes and gets in the pool. But the reality is, he's 76 years old. He's 78 now. I mean, he goes out there to go get the job done, what he needs to do, and he doesn't stop at the finish line. And that's what so many people do. It's what's the least I can do and win. How soon can I go to 3 days a week? When you had a schedule and you got called into Atlanta and you were in-house SNSD, then you had to be down there Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I made the most of it. I was in on all the committees, but the reality is, that's where I made friends with Lyndon Olson and John Addison. John Addison wasn't nothing. I used to fly him to our meetings up in New Jersey, kind of like the Winston-Salem meetings, and I've had him come just hang out and drink beer. I mean, I would never put John Addison up to speak in front of the group. He wasn't doing nothing. He's like working in the mailroom, working his way to underwriting some crap. He was my buddy, same age. He's out in Arkansas, jealous of that, because we didn't have the dates and whether football is going to be here. He's out in Fayetteville, Arkansas right now. I know exactly where he is, out there in Fayetteville and Dixon Street. And it's like, that's what we did every week. And then all of a sudden he ends up being CEO and then chairman of the board, of our company today. And so you never know, how do you get to know people like that? You don't know who they're going to be. You just be nice to everybody all the way through. It doesn't cost anything to be nice, okay? And then the other thing is you make a decision to go get the job done, the best time ever, and you go full speed. So I remember when I was in-house SNSD, it was like 92 or sometime, and they set up this trip for me because I was kind of the guy. The other guy at the time was Randy Godfrey, and he didn't really come in, so they asked me to go. It was Pete Dawkins and Judy. He was the CEO at the time. And we were flying on one of the Citigroup Air Force. It was their Falcon or one of the big jets, private jet. And we go up and have dinner with Sandy Weil and Jamie Dimon, who's the chairman and CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase now. And Sandy's a legend on Wall Street. Pete and Judy, myself, and had this nice dinner at the guest house. And I took a bunch of people up there. There's people in the audience went to the guest house, And there you go. But I go up there, and all of a sudden something hits me like Dumb and Dumber. When they put the X-Lax on his tea. And all of a sudden, and I got like some bigger pipes than maybe some of y'all got. I got a little bigger plumbing system here, bigger septic tank, all that crap, bigger the mess, whatever. Anyway, all of a sudden, it's going through me. And I'm like, oh, hell, we're leaving at 6 a.m., wheels up, and we're flying to Cincinnati, Ohio to do a meeting for Chris Koob, breakfast meeting. Then we're leaving, and I'm speaking at all these. And then fly from Cincinnati to arrive at San Antonio, Texas for lunch, do another meeting for a render, and then go out to Phoenix and do a dinner meeting with all the California and Phoenix, Arizona, all those people, Sharps people. And we're out there, and I got to go out on this trip. And here's the way I look at this. I mean, I was dying, but I had to make a decision. And my decision the night before was if I don't put anything in my body, nothing will come out of my body, including water. Just shut it down. And I got on that plane, and they had lobsters. I mean, you talk about catering. There's one flight attendant, and she's like, would you like this, like that? No, I have something on the next part of the next leg, next leg, nothing. I called Jim Sharpton, who ran meetings conventions from San Antonio. I said, when I get to the Phoenician Hotel where we're going to spend the night, I said, make sure there's 2 gallons of water in my room. And what I did is I went out the next evening, because it was all day, and I ate nothing all day, and went out there and I had 2 gallons of water, and I sat on the toilet. And about 2 hours later, Felt a little better, went to dinner. It's a time change. And the next day, I ate so much damn lobster, I almost exploded on that plane, you know? It was just a one-day thing. But, I mean, it's like your Super Bowl. I mean, what would you, if you got to the Super Bowl, think about that. I mean, everybody watches that kind of stuff. You ever got to the championship level, what are you going to say? What's I going to tell Sandy Wild, Pete Dawkins? Man, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm going to pass on this trip. You got to, the first part of the Do It speech, you got to be tough, man. You got to be tough. And you do that, your grandparents, great-grandparents, your parents all have done that, and you got kids, you do the same thing. So make the decision, choose to win, like the video said, and that's exactly what we did. Get your game plan, run full speed, don't do anything half-assed. What's the least I can do? You know, the great movie. Well, you know, how much for one rib? And then he pays with a $100 bill. That's what people do. It's just crazy as hell. So choose to win and make that decision. Right now, we have I noticed Andrea, turn around, Andrea. Turn around. She knows what I'm doing. Now pull your hair back. Apparently the Flournoy team's bigger than the Brutus team because she's wearing Flournoy colors tonight. I happened to notice that. I don't know. Because Wes had an extra jacket. But I mean, I like to start crap. And now I'm going to end it because I'm going to turn it over to the unbelievable, the beast, one of the next $1 million earners of the company, toughest people I know, Andrea Burks.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach, for those kind words, right? Somehow I just got to see a compliment there somewhere. Right? Be grateful, right? Keep the good attitude. But for those of you watching us at home, you're in for a treat. But for those of you here live, let's give yourself a hand because you're qualified to do great things. And so, as Andy was talking about, you got to make a decision to do great things. And in the midst of the unprecedented times, you gotta go big. And nobody knows how to do bigger than big than the get big or go home environment that has challenged us to do great things. And let me tell you, as we started this decade, at Winston-Salem, event to event, and we went in January, and we were just so blessed to be able to go in March, right before this whole thing hit. And I tell you, as a team, we understood that the number one focus, our one thing that we were gonna focus on as we kicked off this decade of dominance, it was 1,000 recruits in the hierarchy. We knew if we went for a big goal, right, it would allow us to have the unlimited, opportunity to have the manpower and expansion to do great things. Because one thing you got to know back home, for those of you that are brand new, there are not enough hours in a day for you to become financially independent on your own. So you need a team, and you need a bigger team. And what's big? Bigger. So whatever you're thinking, think bigger. And so thank God that our team has bought off in 1,000 recruits, and during the unprecedented times, they fought off, the mindset, whatever. It was about not breaking news, but breaking records, breaking great things. And the milestones that are happening in our hierarchy is because people bought off in doing something together. So one of the definitely highlights, Wesley and Shay, promoting their first RBP, getting the $100,000 ring. They were instrumental in us getting the 8 diamond. Because see, nothing great and significant will ever be accomplished in one person. They might highlight the man in the moon, which might be the first selfie out there, right? But it was a bunch of people with a mission, with a vision, doing something great. And I'm just so forever grateful because they make us look good, make me look like a giant in business because of the great team I have. So Wesley, share with us, what have you done with your team during these unprecedented times to kick off recruiting, to do great things? Give it up, Wesley Flournoy.
All right, thank you. All right, how y'all feel? SNSD Factory. Woo, good. So just want to welcome my bald brother. Let's touch heads. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. All right, well, you know what? What's exciting is the simple fact, dealing with Andy, you cannot be weak at all. When the pandemic hit, you think about it, either you're going to, get big or go home. I could just sit there and think about Andy saying, like, you're going to make excuses or you're going to win, because you can't do both. And then just thinking about Andy being in my head, and he says, you know what, look, we're going to keep the ball moving. So there's a book by Bill Parcells. It says, Find a Way to Win. Andy Young talks about all the time. No matter what you're going through, you just got to find a way out of no way. And so that's what we figured, you know what? And he kept it going. He doubled down. That's one of the biggest themes that we have is double down, because you got to get ready for an epic beatdown. And some of the people that roll with us, they know what we're talking about. And the simple fact is, you got to plug into every event. Andy Young says, I work with people that put me in front of hot market people that come to everything, and bring people to meetings. And I decided I wanted to be the person that Andy would want to work with. So, you know what? I got in front of a bunch of people, us and the team, wonderful team, they're out here, and then we come to everything. And this is part of it. So you got to plug into the Get Big or Go Home weekend, the Super Saturdays, the Tuesday trainings, because that's what keeps the fuel in the fire along with the recruits. So that's exciting stuff. So, Coach, that's what I've been doing. So appreciate that. So I'm going to pass it over to my milk dud, Bud. Oh, I like that. I just made that up on the spot. Come on, let's touch heads one more time. So proud of you.
Let's give it up for Wesley and Andrea. All right, how's it get? Everybody doing? Everybody doing good? We fired up? All right. I always wanted to say that. Okay, it's mini dome, one day the big dome, right? But I mean, speaking of the pandemic, I mean, when it all happened, the one thing I could think about was hearing what from all our coaches would tell us, the paths that they walked through and what Andy and all the legends in this company went through in A.L. Williams' years or the 70s and 80s. And I thought, what would they say if we sat down and said we're scared right now with what they went through in those times, right? And so in comparison, compared to who? I don't think people in Afghanistan and Iraq retreated from their military duties during that time. So I didn't feel like us on our team or the mission that we have at hand was any lower than anybody else. So we decided to get together, the leaders got together, and we decided to do what we had to do, make a way out of no way. So we recruited larger because during that time, we felt like there was talent on the sidelines that was untouched. People that were making 120 had to settle for 70. People that were making 80 had to settle for 40. They wanted their lives back. And it's funny, Andy talks about that all the time. Look for people that want what they lost back. And right now, I think if we take over this momentum, and again, you have to understand, it's all in our heads. $49 IBA, $124, it's in your head. You know, we have an opportunity where you literally have an opportunity better than a McDonald's, better than Remax, better than any business out there, because we're at a time where more people need financial help than ever before. More people need the help than ever before, and less people help people than ever before. So we need to recruit large numbers. We need to be around the right people so we have the right synergy. And I'm telling you, I'm really excited about what the team's ready to do so we can promote RVPs so we can be ISNSD. So we appreciate it. We're looking to represent you further. Strength and honor. We love y'all. Thank you, Andy Young and the whole squad. And Rob and Darla, back to you guys. Thank you.
All right, give it up one more time.
Right? So, look at y'all. Still amazed, right? It's very awesome that you all are here. So, we want to continue to recognize the first event people, the first recruit. If you did your first recruit or your first sale during the months of July and August, continue to email tickets at night glass. You can't see her, but Trisha's here with us.
And she's counting.
She's counting. She's counting the rally. And she's also sending out, as people email tickets@nightglass.com, she's giving them their card, right? So if you've got a team at home that didn't make the trip, make sure everybody's submitting everything. We try to recognize everybody that we can. So tell us about the rally.
Yeah, so Trish, she's counting. She's emailing. I mean, she probably does about how many? Couple hundred emails in an hour?
Oh, yeah, she's quick.
She has no idea. She lost count. But yeah, so right now the rally is still going on. So whether you're in the house or you're in, or I guess in the house, and they're in the house.
Or in their house.
You're their house, this house, that house, the office. If you're an RVP, text 404-465-1830. We need to know who you are. So hit RVP and your last name or maybe your whole name. Depending on, if you got a...
Darren Charles.
Yeah, McKeever. I don't know if there's any other McKeevers on there. I wouldn't have to specify. But yeah, Darren and Walter got a problem. And then, tell us how many people you got watching. Do not hesitate to send us an update. You don't have to get the final number before you text us. But make sure you submit that tonight because we're going to count it tonight. We're going
Yep.
to count it tomorrow.
We're going to add them all together.
Yep. The cumulative is going to be who the winner
In
is.
fact, wasn't Olivier Brutus the winner in
Yes.
Unicoi,
So
right?
we'll see. It's a little bit bigger crowd right now. I mean, who
Yep.
knows? Who knows what
Yep.
could happen? So we've got next. You want to make sure to buckle in because, don't let the butterflies fool you right now. 'Cause, I don't know what she did with Chris. He's not even going to, it looks like he might not even show up. I don't know. But you better be careful because y'all know that Tarsha Gray don't play. So Tarsha, take it away.
Hello, thank you so much, Rob. That was amazing. Thank you, Darla Nightglass. My Get Bigger, Get Home family. We are an SNSD factory. Woo! There we go. I'm excited about each and every one of y'all. Let me see if I can play nice tonight, though, right? But I just want to tell everybody that's listening, what I want you to know is that in this season, you have got to be thankful and you have got to be grateful. If you are in any other headspace right now, you are going to miss everything that is good around you. You got to look around you and find all of the good in this world because there is so much negativity with family, with school, with government, right, with the media. Let me tell you this, Primerica is a special hub, a special group, a special environment, and this place will protect your mindset. So I just want you to know how important it is to be plugged into every single thing, right? And you listen, you got to know what you want, and you got to be willing to pay the price to get it. I listen. I don't know what you want, only you know what you want, but you better want something. The worst thing is to be here with this opportunity, not knowing what you want, and days and months and years going by, and you never figuring this thing out, y'all. Because I'm telling you, everything that begins real begins in your mind. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Listen, I want you to think better about who you are and where you're going. For this event this weekend, I challenge each and every one of you, including myself, to increase our expectation. Listen, if you're going to Get Bigger, Go Home event again, listen, this is not the same event. You know why? Because you aren't the same person coming in. You're coming in with a different mindset. You're coming in with an expectation of greater, right? So I don't know if you joined this business because you want to help people, because you're money motivated, because you've always wanted to build a business. I don't know why you joined the business, but I'll tell you this. Whatever you do and whatever you do it for, you better do it big. B-I-G. Listen, I didn't understand that when I got here. I thank God I'm plugged in and Chris is plugged in and our people are plugged in into this environment because it's really growing us, y'all. It's growing us spiritually, economically, and it's really doing a transformation in regards to our vision because you can limit your own vision by thinking that you are the one. So I'm telling you, y'all, the gift that keeps giving is recruiting. If I would have just been sold that sale, then guess what? That gift would have went to my beneficiary, not to me. But the gift that keeps giving is that someone recruited me. And now today, life is totally different, y'all. Listen, abundance and wealth are your birthright. That's what you got to know. It's your birthright. So I need you to know it. I need you to accept it. I need you to see it. And I need you to seize it because good is the enemy of great. And for those of us that have been here a long time, I've heard this. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So what does that mean? I don't know what chair you're sitting in, what device you're sitting in front of. I'm asking you to be transformed by the renewing of your mind of this magnificent event tonight. Let me tell you this. In 2004, I just got recruited into the business and I went out prospecting. I went to prospect this young lady at a mall. So I knew her. I went to school with her, high school. She told me no. See, in 2004, she didn't see where I would be today, and I didn't even see it, but I didn't quit. I'll tell you this. In 2020, That same young lady and her husband are $100,000 income earning regional vice presidents in our business because I didn't quit. I want y'all to hear, it was 11 years until we met back up again, but now they're regional vice presidents in our business. Y'all, recruiting is the gift that continues to give. So stay tuned, get rid of the distractions, and make a decision to be a change agent during this event through the weekend. So Darla and Rob, I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Woo! All right. I love when she comes on. I am fired up every time I hear Tarja speak. Thank you, Tarja. Bye. Y'all can't see it.
This is good.
There we go. There we go. All right, I wanted to say, we hadn't talked about, what do you get to win if you win the rally? Go through all the effort, gather up all your people, do all that stuff.
We're still doing the t-shirts?
We're still doing the t-shirts.
Okay.
A dozen team t-shirts.
I'm prepared. We still do t-shirts, cup, 20 minutes
Wait a
with
minute.
Andy.
We want to do get big or go home at the bowl.
This is a special at the bowl,
right?
limited edition.
Very few of them.
Walter, you hear that? Limited edition. Nobody else is going to have this one.
Yes, yes. Yep, just like the Unicoi Cup.
Yep, just like the Unicoi Cup. All right.
All right, this is our first and only team roundup for today, for tonight, I guess.
Yep.
So this is your chance to reach out to the people at home, make sure that they're all engaged, make sure that they've been taught how to use the text, direct message, text them. We can go ahead and put that graphic up.
Yeah,
that
so
would be great. So
get in touch with your people, find out, make sure that they know how to get on. Use this time to count for the rally, right? Make sure, if you want to do a little Zoom, do a little talk about takeaways, but make sure everybody's back here because you're going to have a 5-minute countdown that we're going to play.
Yep, starting right now.
Yep.
5 minutes. Thank you.
always be excited, always be busy. You know the best thing you can show you people is how much money you saved. Folks, I can't tell you the hundreds of part-time people I recruited in this business by showing them my mutual fund statement with $42,000 that I'd saved making part-time at A.O. Williams. I can't tell you the hundreds of people I recruited in this business by showing them my plan of financial independence. If all you want to do is make a living, you're stupid to go in business for yourself, right? I mean, the risk you've got to take, the price you've got to pay to build your own business out there. If you're not going to go for it and try to make money and save money and build financial independence, be a dadgum employee, right? Let somebody else have all the headaches of running a dadgum business, right? And so we're playing for big time stuff. We're playing for financial independence, okay? Where nobody can put their thumb on you and squeeze you, right? You've heard me talk about that before, right? I had a motto on this that I told A.O. Williams Company February 10, 1977. I said, A.O. Williams was built to give families like yours a chance to sacrifice and work and pay a price for 8 to 10 years and become financially independent and enjoy that for the rest of your life. You better save money. Every part-time ought to save 100% of everything he makes at A.O. Williams. Every full-time ought to save 50% of every paycheck. You got to pay your taxes. You need to have conservative investments. I know more people that have blown their opportunity at A.O. Williams, worried about paying taxes, going out there and taking their money and putting it into some kind of risky thing, trying to make a fortune and losing everything they got and had to start over. You better be conservative in your personal living style. Wait 2 years before you make 2 years after you think you need a new home, or after you think you need something new. Wait 2 years until you make that expenditure, folks. I had one guy at dinner the other night ask that, Art, you know, how much gas does it take to run the Lady Angela? And I said, listen, if you got to worry about that crap, you don't ever buy a dadgum boat, right? I see more people, folks, buy their dream house, what they think their dream house is, too early. Then they get in there and they can't put curtains on the wall, and they can't buy the dadgum furniture, and they just struggle making a dadgum house payment, right? If you just wait a couple of years, keep fighting, keep that goal of greatness in mind, keep paying the price, keep sacrificing. Well, so what I did is I had these kind of goals. See, I believe you got to have two kind of activity goals now. Until your cash flow, listen, boy, I'm telling you about some powerful things now, folks, okay? Now, until you're cash flowing $8,000 to $10,000 a month, I don't think you should ever use an override to help pay your bills. I believe every penny of override you get should go in the bank as a savings and emergency and investment program. I believe that. I believe until you're cash flowing consistently $8,000 to $10,000, you've got to go out there every month, and muster whatever activity you need to generate the income you need for your family. I've seen more people lose their career at A.O. Williams because they wait on their people to do it. And their people don't do it, and it devastates your income. Folks, you've got to have a goal of greatness. I believe until you have a specific goal of greatness, and you can't adopt Art Williams' goal or anybody else's goal, there's got to be a reason that you came in this business. I was at a meeting with ITT 20 years ago, and a guy said, how many of you people want to win? And I raised my hand. And he said, don't let the day go by that you don't go get Think and Grow Rich. I went and got that book, read the first 30-something pages of it. This Napoleon Hill spent his entire adult life studying successful men and women, and he had 6 steps. He said that everyone, not almost everyone, every person that made it did these 6 things. This was the common characteristic. And it said every one of them have a specific dream. They have a specific reason for being in this business. I thought about what mine was, and I said I'm willing to make a 10-year commitment to this thing, and I want to be financially independent. I can't do that for my family, coaching football and teaching, something I love doing. And financial independence to me came, I thought, from having enough interest income off my investment that would never run out to let me live like I wanted to live. So I wanted a $30,000 interest income at 10% was going to help. I was going to have to accumulate $300,000. $300,000, and at 10% interest, that would give me, my $30,000. So that's what financial independence to me, that's what winning is all about, building a business that will give you the cash flow, the ability to save money,
to accumulate wealth, to be financially independent, to give your family options in your life that you can't otherwise.
All right. Oh, my mic sounds much better now. All right, let's get on our feet. Stretch it out. Woohoo! We have all been sitting too long.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Too much stay-at-home stuff.
Yep.
All right, hey, I've got a little housekeeping item I want you guys to understand. The cable run that goes from this TV, which you guys can't see, all the way up. Everybody turn around and wave to Matt at the top. Woohoo, Matt! All right, without him, we can't see anything, and nobody can see us, and it doesn't work good. Please do not cross the cable. Don't try to step over it back and forth, all right? It's going to be there the whole time. It's right up the center. Please don't do that. And I want to do a quick reminder on the rally. Trish said, please remind everybody it's RVP only reporting at this point, right? In fact, it's going to be RVP only reporting basically until we get to tomorrow.
Yep. We got to get to the top team.
Right. We have to get down
Depending
to the
on
top teams.
how Trish feels.
So, yes.
Might be 2, might be 3, might be 4.
We're never sure, right? And also, she will delete you if you're not doing the right thing and make you do it again. So,
All right.
we never want to be like, we don't want to be upset.
Yeah.
We don't want her upset with us.
So yeah, rally reminder, RVPs only, the 404-465-1830. Tell us who you are, tell us the number of people you got watching. And if we can go back to the graphic about recognition, we're still calling for recognition.
Oh, yeah.
I just posted 3 of the people. They sent it into the number instead of using the hashtag. I put 3 of those on the wall. I got 2 more to do. And I know Trish is working through them and then sending them to me, the ones we got to do manually. So, but yeah, if it's your first event, you know, your first sale, your first recruit in July and August?
July and August.
See, I pay attention. I learn.
I know you do.
And I want you to put it up there. Put it, you know, show us on, hit us up at tickets@nightglass.com. Let us know in the subject line what you're getting recognized for. We'll send you your virtual lanyard, right? Then take a picture with it, post it on social media, and if you can't figure that out, send it the same text number that we use for the rally, and it'll eventually make it my way, and I'll put it on that social wall that you just saw scroll by.
That's so cool.
It is
Great
cool.
way to see
cool,
the
Darla.
whole thing go all the way through the circle, right? All the way around. So the $1 Million Earner panel is coming up at the end of the show tonight. So this is your opportunity. Honestly, we did this in Winston-Salem pretty, real successfully, to ask Gus and Peggy and John and Andy anything you want about building your business. So this is your chance to send me at tickets@nightglass.com any question. There's no stupid questions, as Andy always likes to tell us, just stupid people for not asking the question. So ask them anything. So I'm waiting for those to come in so we can share those and get those ready. I think that this is our first pitch to the man himself. That's you.
The man himself.
That is you.
Here we go.
Ah.
That camera right there?
Yep.
All right. What a great night. Okay, so our next speaker, you know, I made a decision around the IPO, like we're going to come in, and I wanted to reload. I looked at the average age of my RVPs, and it was in its 60s. And originally, you know, we had 80 and then 29 first, and the 29 first had gone down to 7 over the years. And I was at MIT answering questions, $1 Million Earners sitting around, and all the young people were there. Some of them were like 60, 70, but they're brand new RVPs. They're all young to me. You ever had an RVP like quit? And I'm like, man, I've had like 35, 40 of them die. What are you talking about quit? I mean, I've been here over 40 years. Do the math. I don't care how young you are out there, plus 40, it probably ain't looking too good. But anyway, made a decision to come into Atlanta, build new RVPs, and basically it was 3 people outside of myself, Elsie, who came down and left. Kristen, I told Kristen, do not come under any circumstances to Georgia. And I told Mary, under no circumstances, don't come in because it's going to probably take a few minutes. It's like when you build a building. Now, I don't care if it's a skyscraper. You dig a hole almost the height of the building that's going to come out of it. And it's just, you know, rocks out there breaking windshields. Everybody's pissed off, and it's just a mess. And it was a total mess. And we had, starting off, I mean, we started out with 3 people looking at each other. They put a bunch of people, I'm telling you, in the room. They busted their butt. And within about a year or 2 or 3, we got up to 40 people and then 80 people, 120. We went to Colorado, had 40 people. I mean, if you showed up at Colorado, you got a fleece that year. I think the next year too. And we went up to 100. Now we're going to have over 1,000 register, way over 1,000 this year. Of all years, we're going to have. I mean, and the thing grew, and it was one of those tough things where the vision was difficult for people to see, but the people that really stayed, the whole time, it was Kristen and Mary fighting for it, putting things in place. As we ran the play, and I had done it before multiple times, and I'd been part of it, but they hadn't. But as they came along, they really got things moving. And it's one thing to make a couple $100,000 on your own pen, which is what Mary had done. She came into Atlanta to figure out, how can I make more than that and not write all the sales, or hardly any of the sales, or none of the sales. And it takes a few minutes to change things up. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, the whole thing, how that works. But after a while, clicked in and went to a national sales director, and this far away from senior national sales director, because we are an SNSD factory. So help me welcome the great Mary Hayes.
Okay, hey team, how are you? We're here. Great to see you all. Hey, I want to give it up to 4 people that the reason I get to talk is because my bass shop is rocking, and they're the ones rocking it. Shay and Keisha, Charlie, Michael, and Chamonix. I mean, it takes a great team to be a great leader, and I look better as a leader because they are my team and my hierarchy. Thank you, thank you. Darla, when she called me, said, I'm not sure what your topic is, but basically, can you fix my head? So my topic is to fix all your heads. So that's what we're going to do. So number 1, mental toughness. And this doesn't mean being mean to your people. I can't tell you how many of you I've watched you beat the living crap and be mean to your people. I beat you up, but you love me after I beat you up, okay? Right, Keith? Keith always told me that, okay? So just remember, you never can show hurt as a leader. It doesn't matter what they do to you. It doesn't matter how you get knocked out. It doesn't matter what they take. It doesn't matter nothing. You have to be mentally tough here. Number 2, problems, situations, whatever. Most of you, none of you have problems. None of you are in the hospital, so that means none of you have any problems. So screw around and get over yourself. You have situations, you have crap that's going to happen, and whatever the problem is, the solution was the same before it started, while you're going through it, and after you figure it out. And the number 1 thing here to figure out a challenge are more people. Go get more people. The best way to piss your team off, to make them move, is you come in the next 20 days with 10 new people that doesn't include any of them, okay? That's how you move your team. And then feelings. Oh, he hurt my feelings. Oh, did you see what she said? Are you all in 7th and 8th grade? What are you in? I mean, really, what are you in? Okay, who cares about your feelings? Nobody cares about your feelings but you. And if you got feelings, you're a punk. It's not about feelings. I've had an email going on, and we're doing this negotiation on the office, and I got an architect, an attorney, a real estate guy, some other guy, and the attorney called me a bitch in an email. And then we're having a conference call, and it's Colin's here, Logan's here, so here, and I go, the bitch is here. And they go, oh my God, what do you mean? I go, well, Michael, the head attorney, you called me a bitch in an email. He goes, you got that? I go, I've been copied on all of them. Of course I got it. And I go, I just want to thank you because I am a bitch. And I am going to negotiate this contract, and you are going to do what I want you to do, okay? So bottom line is feelings. I could have got my feelings hurt, but bottom line, I am a bitch. I'm negotiating a contract. I ain't backing down. So get over yourself, okay? Next one, team. I'm doing a breakfast club. I got a girl sitting there who's just so awesome going, oh, it's so hard. Nobody's interested, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, how many calls do you make? She goes, 10. I go, 10? Nothing's hard. You're not working. How many are in your phone? And she goes, 300. I go, 300. Could we maybe call 50 a day? You're like full-time here. You come to the office every day. Well, I haven't talked to them in a long time. Who gives a crap? They haven't called you either. Get over yourself. Call them. They could be out there dying for help, dying for income, or having problems with people with insurance. Call them. And then of course, the more you ponder and the more you're in your head, and all you do is sit around and think, people like me, people like Belda, people like Andrea, we're going to kick your ass because we're working. We ain't thinking about nothing, okay? Nothing. And then don't be afraid to screw it up. You have to screw up first. I mean, nobody did anything well the first time you did it except maybe one thing. But nothing else you did well, okay? So don't be afraid, screw it up, because you're gonna win eventually if you take action. And then the serenity prayer, I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing, but you should look it up. You gotta know exactly what you have control of. And you gotta stop wasting time trying to fix things you have no control of. All you married people out there, raise your hand. You do not have any control over your spouse. Whether you think you do or not, that's a lie. You have a little bit of control maybe over your kids, but you don't really have that for very long. So you've got to learn what it is you can fix, and you got to learn what it is you have to let it go. You have to let it go. There's a song I just love by the guy, Zach Brown. Get the song. Some of you need to listen to it every day, 5 times a day, and let it go, and quit worrying about all that little stupid stuff. And basically, bottom line is, when your dreams are bigger than your fears, that's when you're going to win. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do
Omaha.
it.
Omaha.
I'm calling an audible right here, right now, right? So there was just a little bit of a thing, and we were missing somebody when Tarja talked. Anybody know who? All right, so who's with us now? Chris Gray. Woohoo! All right, Chris. We have missed you. We tried to pipe you in. So I can't wait till we're all back together.
Twist his arm to get him on here.
I know.
And Tarsha still won't let him get his time to shine. She got to.
No, I asked her. Let me take that over here.
I said only if he would come on in front of the butterfly.
Hey, you all. I didn't want Rob to think I wasn't here. So, hey, Tarsha did beat me up though. But no, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm so freaking excited, man. Y'all down there look like Andy was talking about how he didn't eat anything, and then he had 2 gallons of water, flushed everything out. Then the next day he was eating all the lobster, and it then exploded on the plane. Man, y'all down there look like me. I ain't ate in 2 days, and now I get some lobster. It looks so freaking awesome down there. The environment looks phenomenal. I'll sit there like, man, I get there. But y'all, I'm telling you, the times we're in, I thank God for this business. I thank God. I don't know who says it, but thank God for waking up in America. And I thank God for being in America. You all, these times, these COVID times have been freaking phenomenal. You all, we are breaking records. The company is breaking records. We're about to go over $500,000 in income. You all, we got RVPs that have made $100,000. Dante and Janine have made $100,000 since COVID. Ken Taji done made like $80,000 since COVID. You all, we got people that's doing crazy things, and you all of this did was show us that, guess what? Our business is pandemic proof. We already know, Andy talks about all the time, that the road to loans will eventually loan, even though we're going back to him. Where he said the road to investments will eventually end. The road to life insurance will eventually end. But guess what? The road to recruiting, it never ends. You all wear pandemic proof, wear the big bubble proof. You all wear everything proof. The thing is, the only thing we're not proof is what Tarsha talked about. How you think. We're not quit proof. We're not, if your goals aren't big enough, you'll quit proof. We're not, that's the only thing we're not proof. I tell you all, this is a phenomenal time. I thank God for this country. I thank God for this opportunity. I thank God for Andy Young, Darla, man, Rob, the freaking Red Baron. Man, where Amy at? Good to see Amy, man. Miss everybody. Keep Miss Pat in our prayers. God is so freaking awesome. He's still a healer. And y'all, we just thank you. I just want to let you know, we are here, okay? We are here, okay?
This is good.
This is good. This is freaking phenomenal.
Woohoo! Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, look,
Thank
here
you,
we are.
Chris.
Oh, that's a great shot, Matt. Thank you. That looks cool.
Yeah,
doesn't
you'll
it?
see Amy. She's
Should
dealing with
he
little
see?
Andy right now. He
Right?
can run now, and he's on the balance bike. He's got 2 balance
He
bikes that
does?
we got from
Oh my
Keith
gosh.
Ottinger, so he's getting those working out now. So
Trying to keep up with him?
yeah, I've been putting him on a strict regimen where I'm forcing my dreams on him.
Like a good parent,
So,
right?
Yes. So you're looking at the next MotoGP champion.
See, now we know. You've said it here, right? All right, one more time. We're still calling for if this is your first event, or if you did your first sale, or got your first recruit, built your business during the months of July and August, please submit those to tickets@nightglass.com. Put which award that you are winning in the subject line. It goes quicker for Trish when she does that. Rally reminders?
Yeah, rally's still going on. We're carrying on until the end
RVP
tonight.
only.
So yeah, RVPs only for today, right? We're going to just get the top of the RVPs only. We're going to write them down. And then tomorrow we're going to do it again. And then towards the end, Trish is going to make the call on how many people she wants to count. And then we're going to figure out who's really, who's telling the truth.
And who broke triple digits?
Who broke triple digits? I mean,
Last Tuesday, David Catan had, Trish, how many? 112 people engaged.
Yep.
And 112 people texted
We started out with
separately.
40.
Yep, Tammy Lewis, 40.
In March. It's crazy.
So he came out of nowhere a little bit.
Yep.
2 weeks in a row.
Who would do something like that?
I don't know. Who would ever do that? That was crazy. What'd you say?
Walter won last week.
Walter won last week. Where's Walter? Right here. All right, there he is. All right. Walter won last week. How many did you have, Walter? How many? Oh, Trish
She's
says
looking it up. She's
108.
checking the record, Walter.
We verify.
108.
Verify. 108.
Confirmed. It
I don't know.
stands.
Do you think anybody can beat that?
I don't know. I mean, it's a big event. You'd imagine it'd go a little
Well,
bigger.
you would think. It's Tuesday. I don't hear any
What'd you say, Trish? Oh, he's got his mug. You brought your mug?
No, she just gave it to
Oh,
him.
you gave it to him.
Saved on
Okay.
shipping. Right.
Saved on some shipping.
Like,
I thought he just had like a nice foam line case.
yeah, then he
With
just
locks
pulled
on it.
around
He just
by-
carried it around everywhere he went through the airport.
I don't hear any challenges. Like everybody's quiet. I
yeah,
guess
no,
they've
no,
just
so-
accepted that that's the best they can do.
Yeah, I know. He's.
No, wait a minute. Way out there in the back. Who is this?
Oh, now they're quiet.
Now they're quiet. Out in the dark. I can't see who you are. All right. Well, I guess we'll just send them all to Walter every
Yeah,
week.
we can do that. I can
All right,
understand.
you
I mean,
guys.
somebody as big and strong as he is. I mean, he's an imposing figure.
Yeah. It's the accent.
Yeah, accent.
All right, you guys, come on. So one more time with the rally graphic, RVPs only, 404-465-1830. RVP, your last name, number of people, constantly update, constantly reaching out to your people, constantly update them. I've been told the best way to keep everybody corralled in is to have them on the Zoom with you, right? But it's not the smallest task,
No,
easiest task for sure. So let's see what else we have. We are getting ready to go to the $1 Million Earners panel, but if you have a question, go ahead and send it to tickets@nightglass.com. I don't think Matt's got that graphic right yet, or right now anyways.
He'll roll it through.
But I think they're almost all together. Oh, there it is, tickets@nightglass.com. Quick, send it in, and I'll send it over to Gus.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it for us. I think Andy is about.
You ready to take it away, Andy?
It's your
Take
turn.
it away. I got other people, right? It's not just me, right?
You got other people.
not all about me.
They'll
I got other
show
people.
up there in the top
where,
right-hand
where are they?
corner.
Where are the people?
Top right-hand corner.
Here's the church and here's the steeple.
Open the door.
Look inside. Oh, there they are. All right, my $1 Million Earner friends on the way to $2 million. And Gus, I think, did you get the squirrel off the floor yet?
It was delicious.
Was it Brunswick stew? What'd you do?
I mean, I'm kind of nouvelle cuisine, man, so I just created something completely new. I'll give you a taste.
All right, you know how many rednecks it takes to eat a possum, right? Two, one to eat it and one to watch for cars. All right, Gus, I think you got some questions for us, right?
Yes, man, we have some questions, and man, this is exciting because I love this segment.
Hey, wait a second, Gus. Is that a model next to Lavin? Who's you got a model? You got somebody in for the evening? Who is that?
Lavin's got a model. I'm jealous.
Damn, Lavin, that's all right. This is pretty hot.
I got it.
He's a player.
Whoa.
Yes, he is.
Who knew? Well, we're having fun here in the bowl. Miss you guys, and let's get rolling on these questions, all right?
All right. So we got some very good questions. All right. So the first question is, what's the best way to start from scratch and build a winning team or a winning environment, right? That launches a business that thrives. Who wants to take that one? Lavin.
I've done that 4 times. So I can answer that. So I always started with an office looking at a room of empty chairs. I literally, every single time. Every office we got, it didn't matter what it was, my desk and my phone stared at a room of empty chairs. And I had one vision. I had to fill the room. That's all I could think about. I'd get in that office in the morning. I said, okay, what are you going to do? Because the room is empty, and it's only going to get filled if you fill it. And so I just really think if everyone takes the attitude of, I'm going to fill the room, I'm going to make it happen. If it is to be, it's up to me. I'm not waiting on anybody. If people want to follow, they'll follow. If I'm a great example, then they will copy me. And so I made my calls, I did my invites, I did my interviews, I had my people coming, I had my people bringing guests, I had my startups that I did where we went on appointments and we invited them down and we started filling the office. And there was one goal, and that was to fill the office. So.
Yeah, and the terminology, EPC, earnings per chair, okay? And over the years, the chairs got nicer looking, right? When we started, the chairs were decrepit, right? They were wobbly.
And the people.
And the people, it didn't matter, but that was the goal. Every day was to go and to talk to people and have impact. You can only have impact when you talk to people and get them in the environment of the office. And relationships, you know, that's where it comes down to.
And then eventually other people caught on. You know, it wouldn't be many, but someone would figure out, wow, if he's doing that, I'll do that. And then all of a sudden you've got a couple other people helping you. Yeah. Double-digit recruiting starts, then you have double-digit recruiters. So
and then partnerships and partnerships start showing up, and that's the real key, right?
Yeah, well, you could double up your attendance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I prospected every day. I mean, I almost looked at it like, and I know Mary did this, and I know Andy has done this. I mean, I went out and met people. I mean, I pretended. I mean, if you drop me out of an airplane and I land in a city where I don't know anybody, we can get this going because I'll go introduce myself and let people know we're expanding. We're looking for people. Do you know anybody? I mean, it's not a complicated, you just have to have the guts to do it. So that's what we did.
All right, man. I mean, that takes guts. And that's why you are where you are. And
it depends. I mean, you say guts, but what are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your purpose?
Absolutely.
Everybody works hard out there in the world. We just have a system that we're able to, you know, be able to change our family's financial tree for generations to come. Guts, working for somebody every single day. Ugh. Can you imagine such a thing?
We can imagine.
Right.
So the children talk to people all day. Most people won't. They get distracted very easily, very quickly, and we did.
So maybe I can tie the next question with your ending there. how did you, and I guess how can you, how did you develop a vision powerful enough to captivate your team? Who wants to take that one? Yes, Miss Peggy.
Hey guys, I just, even with the other question that he asked, I started to tell everybody what I was doing, but I was scared to death. But and I was part-time, of course, and I started out when they told me about this opportunity. I don't like salespeople. I'm not good with numbers, so I was very apprehensive about it. So the people that I talked to at first, who I thought would be the people that would help me, were my friends and my family. And what I found that a lot of them didn't, a couple of them did, but then they referred people to me. And so that helped me to broaden that. But then when you start talking about vision, my vision wasn't expanded until I got in an environment where I saw people. I have to see it in order to seize it. And I'm not good at seeing it in my mind until I see it. And so literally, I knew that I needed more income and I made more income, but I did not have a vision about building a business. I couldn't have sold anybody on building a business because I hadn't seen it. I didn't see that until really it was when I met Andy and he started not only talking about a vision, but then also exposing me to fast start schools, to different trips, talking to other people, things of that nature. And so once I did that, I can remember even seeing Bob Turley's home. I was telling somebody this the other day. I was afraid when I was walking around in his home. I had my arms, like real close to my side. I was like, I can't afford to touch anything to break it. But as you are exposed to things, if you come in, like I did with not, nobody in my family had made $50,000 a year, not that kind of confidence. But as I was exposed and seeing people, like these venues that's going on now, the guys that have, like just spoke earlier, you see them and then my God, look where they come from. So if they can do it, I can too. So I think, before you can get your team to see big, you got to see big. And then after you see big, then you can place them there. That's what Andy does, even with the SNSD Factory. And we never thought about anybody even doing. A lot of leaders that came to me when he first started with that is saying, how in God's name are you going to do that? But literally after they saw him do it, and now people are just buying it into it, and everybody's talking about SNSD. So, like for people like me, I think we've got to be exposed and, actually see that. And in order to do that, you got to stay in the environment. You got to be coachable. You got to stay positive, and you got to show up.
Hey, before she finishes, I want to circle back with Peggy. Whether it was sitting on the rooftop, I say it was a bar. It's probably a restaurant, but I don't remember the restaurant part. But it was up on the roof of the Jefferson Hotel, Washington, D.C. And we were sitting there, and you could look over the White House. And I said, well, we could take our people. We could have dinner at the president's house. We could do that. We had buses for meetings. We had our T-shirts, and whether it was going to London, going to all these, starting with the Bavarian Inn. Everything I've always said is you find a hole in the fence and you bring a bus through. And a lot of people, what they do is they do everything they can to try to get through to the place. Okay, I got in the room, but they don't stay in the room and they don't take the vision and multiply it with their people. It's like the parable of the talents. And what Peggy's done as well as anybody in my entire hierarchy, now, she sees Turley's jet. Okay, she's flying around a jet. And just talk a little bit about, you saw all that and you want your guys to see it, which is why you've had the explosion you've had.
Well, Andy, absolutely. And everything that I've done, I remember when we were going on somewhere that you had exposed us, like to Turley. And, I remember the other thing too that stuck out in my mind is that even though he had the jet, he had that huge house in Marco Island. As a matter of fact, I went to Marco Island last weekend, just reminiscing because I was down in that area. And, had my brother and drove over Marco Island. And I was thinking about when going to Bob Turley's, even though he had that huge house, I think it was the biggest house on the island. but literally he went to Walmart to buy a pair of pants, you know? And I was like, so he's got his priorities straight, you know what I'm saying? And I can also remember, you know, like as we went to the Bavarian Inn and he said it was average and ordinary. To me, it was like the Eiffel Tower. I'm telling you, it was just phenomenal. They had fireplaces in the room. You know, I'd never seen that before. And so all of those things that, you know, the exposure, you know, like we went to games. It was just, and all of that, it started to like build my vision. I can remember sitting on that rooftop and Andy said something about, you know, like what was my house like? And he was attempting to get me to dream. Well, because I'd never been to that space before, I said, I can't get past the kitchen. And so he was like, the bedrooms or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The garage, what's in it. But literally, you gotta be in an environment, you know, in order to grow. And that's how my life has been, is watching, seeing. I remember him saying that once his daughters turned 11 or 12 years old, they could go to any country that they wanted to. And I was like, oh my God. So all of that. I remember him going on trips and like he would take his mom, he would take his dad, you know, like the whole family, you know. So all of that was teaching me. Those were things I had never seen before. So I think it's critically important that you do what's necessary so you can be around the people that can take you to the next spot. With seeing Bob Turley's jet, even when he put us on that jet, and I was like, oh my God. As soon as I got home, I told my daddy, I said, Daddy, this guy had his own jet. I said, I got a shot to get a jet. Will you fly with me? He was like, oh yeah, girl, I'll go with you. Well, you know, then have an opportunity to do that. So the first thing I did was to put, you know, like Chris and Tasha on the jet, to put Sean and Marquita on the jet, and then to get all the other guys on the jet. Now Chris and Tasha are talking about, you know, like we'll have our jet next year. And so I think that is so critically important. I get more joy out of seeing them, and they're going to take it to a whole nother level. Right. And I realized that. I bought a house in Florida, invited them, they came down, but literally now he's purchased 5 acres of land where they having a house built. And so it's just, you know what I'm saying? Once you are exposed, but I think as leaders, it's like our job to do the things for our people. I believe the best mutual fund in the world, Andy always said this, is to invest in your people and to realize that the monies that we make, man, that money is so that you can put it back in the stock market. And our stock market is our RVPs. And also the people, you know, like where we're building up other RVPs. And that's what he's such a genius at doing, expanding people's vision. But he goes first, you know, like by paving the way financially as well as physically so that we can walk in it for our people.
All right, great stuff. Gus.
All right, man. Woo.
Wow.
Took us to
I just say one very quick thing.
Yeah.
I grew up around it. So I had a whole different experience, Peggy. I grew up in an area where people had money and I didn't have any. So now I saw Primerica as my shot to get it, but I knew what it looked like. So what you're saying is so valuable, so important. You didn't know what it looked like, but Andy and the company created the opportunities for us to experience these things. That's what the company trips are so amazing. That's why a Keystone is so amazing, because you're around wealth, you're around people with massive amounts of money, and you just get a sense of what would it be like to live this way. And for certain people, that's all they need, is they need the vision so they can go for it. So thank you, Peggy, for sharing.
That's so huge. A question for Andy. It says here, can Andy talk about how he does to constantly stay in hard market appointments? And it says specifically, how does he get names from the person, not just the person that you recruit, but even from people that are not interested on being clients or recruits?
All right, we got to give Darla, throw some water on her, because a moth just came across you didn't probably see it because you don't have all four of us. Moth came across, he had a saddle on his back right by my face. So what, is that a bat? What the hell? We're outside. but anyway, what was the question, Gus? No, I'm just kidding. You got to be in hot markets, because if not, you're going to be scrounging in cold markets. And I don't care if you're prospecting people, especially today with the whole COVID environment. There are millions of people who are not going back to the jobs that they had in the fashion that they had them. Millions, like never before. I feasted after 2008, 2010, got moving before the IPO. And, okay, I think we're perfect pitch. We can play the song now. Okay, but I feasted on markets after 2008 with people in the mortgage business. They lost everything, man. Flipping houses, real estate, concrete nails. I don't do that one anymore. What I'm doing now is just straight up. Who do you know is hungry, motivated, looking right now? Because there's so many people, and here's the way I frame it during my presentations, is there's millions of people right now who their career is 1 or 2 part-time jobs, and they're kind of looking at Uber or something else. Millions. And everybody goes, yeah, I know people like that. And the end game to that is, hi, welcome to Walmart. Or you're done. I mean, there's no end game. There's no retirement. There's nothing there for that. And so the reality is, you've got this whole mass of humanity out here, and we've got a model that absolutely works. I mean, what is recession-proof? We talk about that over the years. It doesn't matter what's going on in the country. The market crashed, 9/11, everything happened. Primerica just kind of chugged through. Well, COVID, crap, nobody knew. I know a guy over in Duluth by the home office. He sold 4 restaurants in February. Sold 4 restaurants in February for top dollar. And 6 weeks later, they were all shut down. And I don't know if all 4 of those are even going to make it. So what you got to look at is the time we're in, and ask people who they know. Every presentation I do, if I'm training Rob's the most important guy at the table with me. I'm training him. And I'm going to and through the person. I don't know if that's going to be the person or not. And I'm going to frame my whole presentation where, yeah, we've got term insurance and great products and investments. And if they hear that, they're going to say, yeah, here's another thing. There's going to be millions of people who are going to have to move their 401k money because they're leaving their jobs. That's a wall of wealth coming. And I ain't going to do none of that. I got a $1.5 billion in assets under management. I ain't writing none of them, okay? I'm going to find people to do that. That's what I said the day I went to class. Took 30 people with me to learn how to sell securities. And I've given, like my brother, I've given people so many sales, not even funny. But that's going to be a wall of wealth right there. But the recruiting side of our business, the distribution side, I believe that for a period of time right now, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know what it is, as long as Glenn's here and we keep, everything just kind of, Glenn wants to be here, which is great. And we've got everything in place. You are double dumb, crazy, an idiot if you don't go build distribution. I mean, if you have an opportunity to build 2, 3, 5, 10 offices or 100, why wouldn't you do it? If you have the choice to be Michael Jordan or Joe Montana or Rudy, why would you pick Rudy? It's not got nothing to do with size, talent. This business got nothing to do with that crap. It's persistence. It's going out there and going through the numbers. So the last part, you can go to Get Big or Go Home. Everything that I do is on there. But my presentation stuff, you can look at it. But the reality on the harvesting is, for me, you've got to harvest the names from people. And I start off with a hot market, which is, if John Lavin, I'm sitting down talking to him, and Patty goes out with the girls. And they go downtown Philadelphia, and they're driving around, they start at the Ritz for drinks, they go around, and he's in Tampa. And she calls and says, hey, the little lady told us to turn right in 50 yards too many times, and now we're out of gas, the phones are about to die, and we're in South Philly somewhere, and it ain't looking good at 4 in the morning. Who's the first 5 people he's going to call to get her out of there? You could say, well, is it a 5-point market? I don't get anybody get out of bed at 4 in the morning when you're 600, 800 miles away. That's a good candidate because I don't give a crap if they buy something. I don't care if they sign up. I don't care if they got a record. If they'll get up at 4 in the morning to help you, that appointment's going to hold. That's why I had 5,000 appointments and 4,000. 80% of the appointments in my markets stayed. And we probably got another 400 or 500 out of the 1,000 that didn't show up because they were those kind of people. And they were like, yeah, I had to go to the emergency room, had something. We still got a bunch of, it's probably closer to 90%. And I think it's always going through them, and who do you know that's looking, motivated right now? And I used to say humble. I don't give a crap about humble. I'll take the biggest ass on the field if he can score touchdowns. I mean, I don't give a crap. That's not my MO. But, you can talk all the crap you want. If you deliver, you're my guy. Okay, Dennis Rodman. I mean, he's a knucklehead but if you want 20 rebounds, that's your guy. And you get 20 rebounds, you're going to beat the crap out of people. And so I know Phil Jackson, when he coached him, he said Michael Jordan got some book on Christmas on war and how to, fight a war. And Scottie Pippen got something on strategies about something and team building. And Rodman got a coloring book, So it's like, but who gives a crap? I mean, find people, find their strengths, and get in the market. And if they don't put hot market people from, I'm not playing that game. I put them with somebody else. And they're going to feel bad because they don't have people anyway. They can figure it out like I had to do, and John did 4 times. I've done it multiple times, where you got to go out there and go through the numbers. Don't come in and tell me I talked to 19 people, it's not working, or whatever Mary said. I talked to 11 people. Get out of here. Come on, you got to go through the numbers, tell your story over and over, and I don't care if it's the banker, the president of the bank, or the guy who cuts his grass. Tell the same story over and over and over to different people, and quit talking to everybody about everything you're doing. All right.
So I have a question for you, Andy, on that. So I've always known you do cold market long enough to not have to do it. You just get out of it.
Right.
It's all warm. You're doing cold, people you don't know, you're making friends, to warm. We have so many people that don't get out of cold. They never make that shift. So what would your advice be for people that seem to be stuck in the cold? Where do you work with? How do you help people to move to warm?
One of the challenges today is, with POL and the company, it's all great stuff, but we didn't have all this stuff in the old days. You got a license, got paid, or you didn't get paid, or maybe we had a little $225 thing or some crap. People had to go get a license, and everybody I trained, they did their sales when they got a license. They knew they had to have a license. Nobody told me, called me up 5 times, you got to have a license to get paid. It's like, got to have a license to get paid. Okay, how do you get the license and go? So my challenge with that is right now with the field training, some things like that, people are going through the market looking for the 1 by 1,000, especially when it's $49. And you go, I got the sales, I just got to pick up 3 IBAs. That's the mindset of a lot of people. And the reality is, to self-preservation, your only shot is to dig through people, and it's your only shot, and it's their only shot. If they got a chance to go to RVP, you've got to find districts. It's really the double-digit recruiting. 3 doing 10 puts you at 50. 6 is 100, and 15 is 250. John, you went over 1,000 the first time. You had 61 or 63. It's the same exact math with a 0 on both sides. 1,000 or 100, it's 1 0. Flo Adams, you say make $1 million a year, 100,000, it's 1 0. And so it is totally about the recruiting, the gas in the tank, to identify the districts, and then you've got to drive districts through them. And that's what's going to keep you in business long range. It's nice to get a check, but I guarantee almost everybody getting a check, I don't care if it's $500, $1,200, this guy got $50, I guarantee that money's already spent before they got here. But if they got 2 or 3 or 4 people going for district under them that you're helping drive to get the district, that's going to be that candle to the rear end of staying in business. So it's always been, I got 18 direct districts after I went to RVP, and 42 through them that I did all the appointments with. And it wasn't me going out there and splitting sales and taking however people do it. I was building districts because I needed distribution. Well, how'd you have 80 RVPs when you were 28? I don't know, we had a lot of damn districts. How do you get districts? Through double-digit recruiting and just run the play over and over. I don't know if that answers your question, but hot market or nothing, baby. I've over the years when I didn't really have to go build, we've talked about this, and if I ain't got a hot market, I'm just not going. Period. But you've got to, and I've never been in a cold market more than, I don't think I've been in a cold market more than 20, 25 days ever, because you get in, you get out. And here's the way I frame that. Anybody got children? Anybody here got children? Hands going up everywhere. Grandchildren. How long, if you had a walk-in freezer, at Longhorn or somewhere, how long would you let your children or grandchildren stay in the walk-in freezer? You gave them a jacket, so it probably wouldn't be that. How long is okay in a walk-in freezer, even with a jacket, earmuffs? How long? Not long. It's unacceptable. That's the way you ought to think about being in a cold market. Get the hell out before you freeze to death. Just saying.
Well, another thing with that, John, I think, because I know Andy's story well enough to know that he said, okay, I'm in there 25 days. Most people that are in the cold market, they're used to, they get up, they go get 5 names today, 5 names tomorrow, 5 days the next day, and they do that for like 11 years, right? Andy went out, and in those 25 days, he got 800 names. Right? So absolutely. The whole idea of compressing time frames, you do need a lot of people. The only difference is that he understood that he is either 10 years or 3 weeks. I'm just gonna compress it down into 2-3 weeks and get it done. And I think that's where most people lose with that idea that they think the work here is we get paid to prospect, Well, that doesn't mean that you get 5 names a day. It means that you do it quickly so you can build a machine that prospects for you, you know? So I just wanted to throw that in there because people hear, oh, 25 days. Well, man, how many names can I get in 20? If I get 3 per day times 25, man, these guys were monsters. They could just convince people. No, he got freaking 800 names in 25 days. And I've been here a long time, and I've never seen anyone do that in my hierarchy or anywhere close. So anyway, I just
Well,
thought.
Gus, he was saying like, how long do they stay in the coal market? I think it has to deal with, like if you listen to what Andy said, he was like, I want to do it now, and not later. And so for those people who come and get it done, Art Williams on his, like the 4 keys of winning, when he talks about you got to be excited, then, and, like you got to have a big dream, but then he says you can't beat the numbers can't beat you. And what happened is that people have to stay long enough until they get their ratio. And I tell people this all the time. If they tell me that, like I want to be an RVP by January, right, and this is like June or July, and I'm like, well, okay, the first thing you got to do is start your 10. Like with your 10 recruits so that you'll have 2 or 3 people a month that you can then start taking the district. But the bottom line is that if you go out and you get 5 names on Monday, Tuesday, you didn't do anything, Wednesday, you got 3, then you really don't want to be an RVP. What you want to do is say that because it sounds good, but it's the work that's got to be put into it. When I came in, when God said, let there be light, they had the application where it asked for, like after you got their name and then it said, give me 4 people. It was like references that vouch for you. But ultimately, that was a referral deal where you call them. And so, but I believe that if we are hungry enough, I think that's the key. And that should probably start from the time that you recruit them. What do you want? And then to keep serving that food back to them. What do you want? And once, if they're serious about that's the food that they want, they will find the people. If they know their why, they'll find a way. But there's so many people that don't know their why. And I think we spend a whole lot of time to help people find their why. And everybody has a personal why. It won't be like mine, but we've got to be able to identify that so we can get to next.
All right. I got this one that says, what separates the $50,000 earning RVP from the $500,000 earning RVP? How does one get there? And what's the game plan? So I want to get a piece of that, and then you guys can add to it. I'm thinking most people on this, should we call this a call or a Zoom? How do we call this? On this meeting, are looking for, they're here because they're looking for the game plan.
Gus, this is a big ass live event, right?
I said meeting. So, but people are looking for the game plan. What's the game plan? And Art is very clear when he says that the $50,000 RVP, the difference between the $50,000 RVP and the $500,000 RVP is that the $500,000 RVP wants it a little bit more. Right. And he works a little bit harder. And so it boils down to desire, not game plan. So it ties into what Miss Peggy was talking about and what John was talking about. It's really desire. You have to really, you have to get to that point where you make a decision. You are not going to be denied, and you're not going to do the game plan, which is, okay, what do I need to do? You're going to do what's required. And that means anything, right? You may have to talk to 100,000 people, and you must be willing to do that. So I just wanted to say that. Anyone can add to that?
Yeah, I would say something I've been talking about lately is that the insurance license, the investment license, and your presentation, those 3 things, that's the easy part. And no one wants to hear that. Because so many people are having trouble with the life license, then they have trouble with the securities license, then they can't get their presentation down. I promise you, that's the easy part. Get that stuff out. Now, I know it may not be for you right now, but the real work is with people. It's with relationships. It's with the work and the conversations. So I would say get all that out of the way so you've got your licenses so you can get paid, and you've got your presentation that's attracts people to want to hear what you have to say. And more importantly, that your presentation's good enough and you're good enough at the basics. You don't have to be great, good enough at the basics where people want to introduce you to everybody they know. So you got to get good at that stuff and get it behind you so you can put the massive numbers into the system. And I promise you, when Andy went and he did what he did in Washington, when I did what I did in Philly, I moved from Tampa to Philly and started from scratch. I already had my presentation down. I knew how to close. I had my licenses. It was only one thing to worry about, and that was loading, double-digit recruiting, and finding double-digit recruiters. There was nothing else. That became the total passion, and I stirred it up, and this one here, she cleaned it up until we could afford a secretary. And so I stayed focused on what I needed to do, and Patty cleaned up the mess and made sure the business got processed, and she loved on everybody, and we got people licensed, and we did all that. And she literally took everything off my plate so I could be focused on people. And so, I mean, that was for us, that's what launched it.
All right. Another question here. As a new RVP, what's your best suggestion to gain back momentum? So I guess the premise of the question is that they lost momentum, right? And I think that they probably lost momentum because they stopped doing what got them to RVP. But anyone wants to get this question?
If they lost momentum, that means you lost your vision. And I hear people say, like, what happened? I lost momentum. Like, no matter what, like, if your goal and dream is big enough, you don't lose your vision. No matter what happens, you don't lose that. You just get back on that horse. Here's what I think too. I think like the longer we go, like, I don't know, like we become such a kinder, gentler nation. And if I start looking back to how my daddy was, I'm saying, and my granddaddy and my great granddaddy, and I hear the stories about them, they didn't take all this crap. You know what I'm saying? You knew. Here's the deal. I don't like bone fish. But that's what my mother cooked every Friday. Would you not think for 18 years she would just have mercy on the youngest child and fix something else? You understand what I'm saying? And so the bottom line, but she never did, and you ate what was on the table. And so I think what happens, and I think we have to be very careful of this, especially if you got to RVP, was RVP your destination? Or was your destination to get debt-free and financially independent? Was your destination to be able to donate $10,000? That was one of my goals to do, tithe $10,000. You know what I'm saying? And so the bottom line is that, like, what is your goal? What's your goal? What's your dream? To, like, to be able to do some things like that. And so if RVP, those are just levels, and I think some people get, like, you get there, but once you get there, what they're saying now, are you really ready to play? We put you on the team. Okay? So now, are you really ready to play? And here's the other thing that I believe with all this in me. Everybody tell you about you got to change who you are to be where you need to go. You got to be who you are. You got to work and you got to be who you are. Yeah. That, like, I think self-improvement is something that we need to be doing all the time. But you got to know that you know. Here's an example, my kids. So my daddy raised us that, like, this is my house, this is what you do. And so I raised my kids, like this is what we do in our house. So many times they were like, we wish Miss Edna was our mother, because Miss Edna kids were able to do all kinds of things. But now Miss Edna kids, one was on drugs, the other one in jail. And so then as they got older, and so the older they got, the smarter I got. But if I had not stood my ground, but if I don't know what my ground is, I think that's where I messed up. And so you gotta, like, why am I here? What do I want? And I think as we go through being an example for people to move out, and initially you better be the example, not a manager. You don't get in the of humanity. I wouldn't ask anybody to do, like what I didn't do. And so I served that time. And entrepreneurship, as you get through that time, then you ought to be at a place where I can do some things that I want to do right now, because now it's time for Chris to serve his time, Rodney to serve their time, Brandon to serve their time. And I'm telling them, but when I think back on it, Andy, I was telling Brandon today, and I was telling Chris Bell today, I said, Chris, you're in the greatest part now ever. You know, like, because what you're doing right now, you're around the team. You even get to the point that you're living with them because you see them so much. You should be the loudest voice in their ear, but they should see you as you are moving toward debt-free and financial independence. So RBP is the stop to see, are you really ready to play?
Hey, tell you what, let's do, Gus. Let's do 1 2-minute wrap up. You go, and then Peg, and then John, and then we're going to go on to the next seat. Go ahead, Gus.
Right, man. Well, I think that people need to have clarity on what they want, because I'm reading a lot of the questions that we didn't get to, and I think it's the same answers. You know, you need to have the desire. Everything starts with desire, and then you have to know, you know, that you can do it. Have some sort of belief in yourself, right? Even if you're scared, because you might be scared at the beginning, but like Miss Peggy was saying, but you have to believe and have the work ethic. You need to be willing to outwork the next guy to get what you want. And I think that's really the bottom line. And Miss Peggy said that we've become a gentler, kinder country. What she means is we've been wimpified. And I think that we need to get back to having some, can I say balls? I mean, well, this is a live event, so yeah.
That's good, Gus. Peg.
Well, so, see, here's what I believe. I don't think there's no free lunch, period. And I think, you know, like even salvation, I remember this church, right? Don Church used to say, come up, give me your hand, give God your heart, you got a free gift today. And every Sunday I say, why is he lying to the people? Salvation ain't free. There's some rules that you got to follow. You got to obey, or God's going to strike you down. You're not going to get the same thing, you know, that the people that are obeying. And so it's the same thing here. If you want it, you got to go the extra mile. And here's the deal. It's already laid out. I mean, it's already laid out. Go to district, get your 10, go to district, you know, like go to division. It's right there for you. But the key is your why big enough that you'll be obedient enough to do it in order to get it done.
Absolutely. John Lavin.
Well, the markets, the craziness with all this, it's never been a better time to do what we do. If there was ever a time that you were going to actually win in business, it's right now. Everything's lined up. It's completely lined up. There are more people looking for opportunity than ever. There are no state borders. You can work anywhere you want. You can recruit anywhere you want. When someone comes into the business, it's no longer who lives near the office. It's who's on your list. It doesn't matter where they live. They can go. You can write business anywhere. So we've got this. So I think that really more than ever, it's time to be the example. Instead of waiting and wishing and hoping that someone's going to come into your business that, you know, you deserve, that, you know, why can't I find that person? Just go be that person you're looking to find. Go be that person first. And that person you're looking to find will be attracted to your energy, your movement, your action, your income, your lifestyle, where you're going, what you talk about. And that's how you start to really build this thing. So,
yep,
yeah,
good
and
stuff.
if I could just say something, I just think during these times, you know, like you look at all the $1 million earners, and we started where you are. We didn't know that we were going to be in the financial services business. We didn't think that we could run these, you know, incredible organizations and have impact and have so many people rely on us as leaders. Like we had to each day go out and get better so that we could be there for our teammates. And we're still do it today. Miss Peggy, Gus, Andy, every day we have to get better so that we can be relevant and deliver. And I just always knew that fear is what stopped me from doing the things. And when this statement said, all the goodies lie on the other side of fear. I heard Mike Sharp say that in California probably 30 years ago. And so anytime that I got scared, I just knew that all the goodies, and the goodies don't have to be the material things. The goodies can be, you know, your impact, your relevance, making a difference in the community, making a difference. It's like Miss Peggy said, $10,000. I know that Rufus and April just made a huge donation to their church, right? And to see that, just know that your purpose your why, usually revolves something around your family. Just look at those babies every day. That's what I did. And I looked at the babies now of our team members and looked at their parents and know that we've got the goods. This system allows us to go out there and fight every day. But it is a fight, it's a battle. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. But you've got the system, and so many people out there are looking for the system, right? They're praying for you to call them. And we're sitting here so full of fear that we can't pick up the phone. They're waiting, they're praying for you. You are their answer. You thank God tonight for who got you in this business, right? They overcame their fear to make the call to you. And we can go change the world. People need what we do in the communities. What we do, nobody takes the middle income America, lower middle income America. Nobody takes the rules of money, and nobody offers entrepreneurship where they can go change their family's tree. So let's just get over ourselves. Let's get over the fear. Let's get better every day. And let's just go change your family's financial tree for generations to come. That's what we're playing for here. That's what's real. All right? That's what's real. And I love you guys. And I believe in you. You've got to believe in yourself. And we all have limiting beliefs of our conditioning when we were younger, okay? That's what self-improvement is about. But sometimes you just got to do it anyway, okay? And you can change those limiting beliefs. And it all comes from the heart. And it all comes from doing what's right. And that's what Primerica is about. That's what Andy Young is about. That's what the SNSD Factory is about. It's about making a difference for all of us. We've come together to make a difference. So you do your part for your family every day. You get out there and fight. You wake up every day. You be thankful and you have gratitude for what you have, okay? And that is what it's all about. That's abundance. When you're grateful, when you don't have it yet, then the prosperity will come. So be grateful every single day for where we're at. Thank you.
Right.
I am. I love you guys.
Great stuff, guys. Great $1 million panel. Over to Rob and Darla.
Love you.
That's us.
That's us.
All right. Always still one of my most favorite things that we do. So much information. Thank you guys very much. I love you all.
Give it up to this awesome
All right,
crowd
look
tonight.
at these guys here. We take that shot live. Look at all of us. Woohoo! All right, you guys, just a quick wrap up. Everybody kind of hang for a few minutes. Congratulations to all of the people who got recognized tonight, to the VIPs who now have their front row seats.
Yep.
Right? Woohoo!
And
All right.
First timers, first recruit, first sale,
Yes.
first event, welcome.
Yes.
If this is
this
your first
it.
event and you're here, man,
Yeah,
this is
you're
an
like,
awesome way to start.
You guys rock. So let's do a quick rally update where we are as
Okay.
of a few minutes ago.
So I've got some updated numbers here from Trish. We've got Olivia and Jamina. The Brutuses have got 120.
They're
Claimed.
They claim 120.
Claimed, not verified. We're in the asterisk era right now. James Bella has 71. Walter Charles has 70. Mary Hayes has 62. David Catan had 61. Friday night mostly tough for the Catans. Ahmad Rizvi has 60. William Kofer has 51. Weston Shea Florinard have 50. And we've got another,
Oh my gosh, a lot more.
about 75, 80 RVPs have been reported in. So I'll give you the top few, the top contenders. We'll see who takes the cake.
Bug.
A bug?
Okay. All right. And I
That's
don't
because
think we
I
ever
smell so
sa-
good.
Oh, that's what it is? Okay. I don't think we said this, but let's throw it out there now for tomorrow.
Okay.
You can start tomorrow. If you're an RVP who hasn't reported tonight, you can start reporting tomorrow.
Yep.
If you are a team, if you're an RVP and you're starting over and you've heard some of the things that you've gotten for advice, start with one. You're it, right? start reporting with 1 and then get some more.
Yeah.
And then, put your numbers in. That's how we all start. So I would like to do a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, VIPs. Are you out there? All right. Your Zoom is back here in the morning at 9 a.m. We will begin at 9, so you might want to get here a little bit early. We will be meeting at the top of Section C at the picnic tables. Rob will be there and greeting you and helping you up there. All right? So if you're, pardon?
The huddle.
I'm sorry. You're right. VIP huddle. The huddle.
You call it an audible. We got to have a huddle.
I know.
Okay.
A regroup for tomorrow. So everybody up there, ready to start at 9. So don't arrive at 8:45 probably.
Yeah.
Then for everybody else that's coming in, we will open the proverbial doors, right? At 10, you can enjoy the music here until we start live here at 11 for our virtual audience who will be waiting for us. What do we have tomorrow?
Oh, man, we got a ton going on tomorrow. So you've heard from $4 million earners tonight. We're going to add another 3 on top of that for a total of $7 million earners tomorrow. We're going to have a whole bunch more recognition. We're going to be going over promotions. We're going to be talking about the rally again, obviously, because that's super, super important. We're going to talk about our top winners. We're going to have more of the awesome audience. It's been hard to shoot you. I know that Jason's been running around. He shines that bright light.
Yes.
Trying to. Tomorrow we're going to have some daylight to help with y'all. Get a little more FaceTime out there for the audience. And more of y'all. I mean, it's so good to sit here and actually have somebody else on the other side of it.
Someone to talk to.
Oh, man.
All right, you guys, thank you. Thank you to our audiences at home. We love you all, and we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m.